to SciTech. In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a 6 DOF Robot Arm Kit that came from Amazon. And if you want to build the same robot and buy the same robot, just click on the link down in the description and it'll take you directly to the Amazon site of where you can buy this robot. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to build this robot step by step. And I've looked on YouTube to try to find video instructions on how to build this robot, and I haven't really found any that were really clear or good or anyway easy, or in English anyways. And the only way to build this is off from the website of the people who are selling this to you. They show you like a PDF photo instructions, and those aren't so clear either. So I'll show you more details of how to do it in this video. So as you can see, this section here is one part, this section here is a second part, and this section up here is a third part. When you buy this robot on Amazon, you have to buy all three of these parts, and this all equals up to about $105, $110 free shipping. So I'm going to start showing you this part here, and I'm going to go and start building. So I've removed all the plastic that was containing all of the pieces, and I'm going to go ahead and start building. Let's get started. First, you're going to start with these three pieces. You take these two and you connect them together like that. And you take 4 screws and 4 bolts, screw them in on both sides. It should look like this. Next step, what you're going to need to do is take this piece and put it on top. 4 bolts and 4 screws. And it should connect and look just like this. Now the next step is to put this piece to the side, and we work on these little pieces. And you're going to need one of these nut screw and this washer thing. I'm not sure what it's called, but it allows you to be able to rotate the servo motor. So you go ahead and you put it in just like this. There you go. And now the next step is to put this piece on top just like that. And this will require 2 screws and 2 bolts connected like this. And there you have it. Now it should look like this. Now you're ready to put your servo motor, put it in this direction. Now what you're going to need to do is preset your servo motor by rotating it clockwise to where it goes into a direction like this. And then you rotate it 90 degrees anti-clockwise, so it should look just like that. And now your servo motor is ready to use. Now you go ahead and attach the servo connector, just like this. Next, put in your screws to hold in your servo motor. Total of 4 screws and 4 bolts. It should look just like this. Now you have this piece that goes underneath on the bottom right here. That's what that little washer thing does. It allows this little piece to move and swivel with the servo motor. Now you understand what that piece does. So now you go ahead and kind of wedge it underneath. This part is a little tricky to do, but it can be done. Just takes a little bit of finesse. There you go, now it fastens in just like that. Align it in just like that. And now what you're going to need to do is attach this little piece connecting to that piece, just like that. And all it takes is just 2 screws, because those servo plates already have a filing inside which allows you to screw in the screws. Alright, now we have these 3 pieces, and do the same thing again. Connect it in exactly the same way as you did for the first servo connection. Connect it just like that. And then you put the screw inside of the servo, and that way everything is held in tight and perfect. Tight and secure. And now it should look just like this. Now it's time to take your second servo and pre-align it just like before. Rotate it this time all the way anti-clockwise, just like that. Pull this little lever thing out, position it like that, and go clockwise, and align it just like that. And you can see that it goes a perfect 180 degrees. So follow it carefully, and set it in 90-degree angle, and that way this can rotate both directions of 180 degrees comfortably. Screw it in just like that. Place the servo in and use 4 screws and 4 bolts, just like before. And there you have it. It should look just like this. Now you take this little swivel bar and put it in just like before. And then you put in your 4 screws. Okay, so now you go ahead and take this bar and put it on the opposite end of this bar, just like that. Put in 2 screws and 2 bolts, just like this. And it should look just like that. Now you take these 2 pieces, connect them just like that. Put in 1 screw for the servo, just like before. And then you take this piece, the longer part goes underneath, and it aligns in perfectly. Takes 2 screws and 2 bolts. Connect them in together like that, and it should look just like this. Now what you're going to need to do is connect this bar, connect it just like this. And now what you're going to need is 2 screws and 2 bolts. And it should connect just like that. And there you have it. It should look just like this. Now go ahead and pre-align your servo, rotate it clockwise all the way, and then do the exact same thing as all servos are aligned exactly the same way. Take the servo plate, put it on just like that, and then again 4 screws and 4 bolts just like before. And it should look just like that. Now you go ahead and you connect this piece onto that bar in this orientation. And it should go in just like this. And then again, it takes 4 screws. There you go. It should look just like this, and it should be able to rotate all the way down like that, and then stop about there. That's what it's supposed to do. Now you take these 2 pieces and then position them like this and connect just like that. Put in 2 screws and 2 bolts. Connect them in like that. And it should look just like this. Align your servo. Do the same thing again. Go clockwise all the way. Then rotate to 90 degrees. And there you have it. It is set. Now go ahead and put your screw, put it in, and it should look just like this. Now you go ahead and put your servo in, just like that, and it takes 4 screws and 4 bolts, just like before. Caution, I made an error in this part. This same servo here, I need to rotate it clockwise 90 degrees. It should be aligned like that. I misread the instructions, but this is the correct way, trust me. Now, I also forgot to put this piece in. The instructions didn't show that detail, so I realized that mistake. So I'm going to go and remove the servo and place that piece in. See, sometimes this PDF instructions can be a little tricky. This is why I'm making this video, to make it a little bit easier for you to understand and follow. So, there you have it. This robot arm is nearly done. And now I'm going to go ahead and place this piece in just like that. There you go. Now put in the 4 screws just like before to keep it in secure. And I should rotate just like that. And then stop. And then rotate the other direction. Now if I put it in the incorrect way, it wouldn't have moved in that direction. And that would be a big problem. And there you have it. This robotic arm is nearly complete. Next step is I'm going to go ahead and align this servo carefully. Rotate that all the way anti-clockwise. Then rotate it all the way clockwise. Back to anti-clockwise. And then rotate it 90 There we go. Rotate it all the way clockwise. And then rotate it 90 degrees. and it should look just like that. Put the servo plate on, attach the screw to secure the plate in, and now it's time to screw the servo in, and as before, 4 screws and 4 bolts. Now it's time to attach the servo to the claw. Now I'm going to go ahead and align the servo just like before. Now this time I'm going to do something a little different. Instead of attaching the servo plate directly to the servo, I'm going to put it on top of the claw instead. Align it in just like that. And then screw it into place. There we go, now I'm screwing it into place. And there, it should look just like that. Now it's time to attach the servo to it. Screw the servo in, and then attach the 4 screws and 4 bolts. This part I found a little tricky, but it is possible to do, it's just sometimes a little hard to get it in. And you may have to do some adjustments by unscrewing those screws attached to the servo just a little bit to give a little bit more room in order to get the alignment just right. So this part's a little tricky, but it can be done. And there you have it. It opens and closes perfectly, and it should look just like this. Now it's time to attach the claw to the robotic arm, and this too is a little tricky because the angle is slightly awkward, but it can be done, it's just a little awkward. Might have to do some minor adjustments to be able to get both the screws in, but it can be done, and as you can see, it works. And there you have it. The robotic arm is now complete. Let's go ahead and see how it looks, how it moves, and see what it looks like when it's moving. Of course, it's going to be moving without having any programmed circuits, so I'm going to manually move it. So let's demonstrate that. Okay, so one detail I'd like to mention, since I've built this robotic arm, since this robotic arm here is completely built, I noticed there were some small errors as I was building it. Now, the instructions told me to turn the servo motor in certain directions, and I did do that, and I did follow it correctly. But I've noticed that by testing it by taking an arduino potentiometer and doing a simple connection from servo motor to arduino, and to test it with using the simple servo knob mode that's preset inside the Arduino program, where you can easily connect it to test your servos. And me testing it, I've noticed by doing this, it does turn, but as you can see, I go right here, and I still can turn this more, like that. I can still turn this more, and it won't move. And I turn it all the way this direction, and it stops there. So, when you build this robot, you do need to make some adjustments. As you can see, I took the screw off here, and took it off in the center here. And I noticed that if you adjust it like that, and turn it like this, this will make it work. I should have done this while I was building it and tested while I build. Because if you were to test building this robot, when you build this robotic arm, and you test it while you're building it, then you'll know how well it should work. So I adjusted this here, and now it rotates perfectly. Perfect 180 degrees correctly. Stops like that. And there, that works. Now I've already tested it with this servo motor and this servo motor, and both of these were wrong, so I readjusted it the exact same way on this one, on these two. So far I did not test this one, and this one yet, but I'll do that later. I just wanted to add that to a detail to show that in case you're having trouble building this robotic arm, you need to do adjustments like I just did just now, while you're building it. Don't do it after. It becomes a little bit more complicated, because then you have to take this off, more screws to unscrew, and it becomes more complicated. I highly recommend testing your servo motors while you're building it, so that way you can do pre-adjustments before you finish building, and that way you know it's going to work exactly the way it's supposed to. And there you have it, your robotic arm. Now, like what I've said earlier in the video, you could go ahead and click on the link down in my description where you can see on Amazon the 6 DOF Robotic Arm Kit, where you can buy the servos and the servo attachments and the pieces to make this robotic arm. But the most important thing you need to know when you buy this kit, you're going to need to buy one more pack of the servo connectors, because with the servo connectors, you actually need like just one more to be able to complete the robot. I didn't realize that till the end, so I actually had to wait 2 days to get an extra part for this robot to be completed. So you actually have to buy 2 packs of the servo connectors. And when you buy this kit too, you will also receive all the servos that's needed, plus you'll have an extra 2 servos. So it'll be good to have an extra 2 servos. You can use that for something else too. Just a little side note to let you know, just in case when you buy this and you're like, oh, I'm missing a piece. You're not. You just have to buy one more pack of the servo connectors. It doesn't come with enough on the first purchase. Just a little bit of buyer's advice. But anyways, there you have it. All you have to do is now plug it into your Arduino and program it, and you can do whatever you want with it. Thank you for watching SciTech. I hope you learned something new, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more SciTech videos. Till the next tech. Goodbye.